do with you. I'm going to go get something to drink, and I shall return to the ordeal. Are you two guys are hearing each other, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm hearing him just fine.
Yeah, remember, Doug, there was only one time that the conditions didn't favor east-west, it favored south, and we couldn't hear each other that well.
Yeah, that was probably like a year ago, and I think that was on 40, if I remember correctly.
Possibly.
Well, 80 meters down here is nice and quiet again.
I have yet to hear any static crashes.
So what's this, hold on, what is this? Because it came out when I was off the air. What's this voice squelch now in Thetis?
I have no idea. You'll have to ask Art when he gets on.
I just turned it on. It kind of just gets rid of the hash, but it makes you choppy, so I guess I got to set it right.
Well, whenever it's ready, if he thinks everything is stable, he can, we'll do Team View, and he can download the latest version for me. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to do there. If I did it once or twice, then I'd understand, but I don't know where to go to read up on it.
So you haven't done any of the updates?
I have never done the update. Art always does it for me.
Oh, all right. Yeah. Well, I'm sure he'll do it for you soon.
Well, I just want to make sure everything is stable.
Yep. Well, this thing's been pretty stable for me. I know they updated again last night because allegedly there was an issue with FT8, but I really don't do FT8, so I probably never would have noticed it.
Yeah, I don't either. Lag there. I know mine. Well, the way I was doing it before wasn't just advantageous, so I do it a little bit different now. I stream actually with my other computer. I set it up and then go. How do I explain that? I set it up to go stream, and then I go with the program and hit go live, and boom, it's all there it goes, and there's hardly any, maybe 3 to 5 second lag, but that's about it.
KC2 QMA.
John, good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, band's pretty quiet. DJ's sounding great again.
Well, thank you, sir.
I don't think some people know that you have your microphone plugged directly into your radio. Everybody's got the outboard gear, but yours is right into the radio, and it sounds amazing.
I think he goes into an audio interface first.
What you're reading there, but yeah, other than the cloud lifter, the what do you want to call it? The Golden Age pre-73 Junior. That's the only thing I have plugged into it, and then it goes into the radio.
Got it. Yeah, so just a little mic preamp in the front end there. Yeah, it sounds great.
So, John.
Yeah.
My receive filter was at 0. It still is. I think you were looking at where you saw the low 75.
Well, okay, now, I was talking about the receive. I wasn't talking about your transmit. And I'm not 100% sure, but
I usually set my low cut by default at 20 hertz because honestly, anything below 20 hertz is absolutely useless. You know, it's below subsonic. I mean, most subwoofers don't even won't go even below 20. So to me, there's no point in going below 20. This is how I found an easy way to deal with it. If you go into your setup window, and I guess it's under filters. You see the tab that says filters?
All right, hold on one second, because I'm looking right now. I'm looking on the bottom right where my receive filters are, and I've got my low at 4100 and my high at 0. But let me. All right, so I'm going to go to setup. I'm going to go to general. I'm going to go to filters. Go ahead.
And you see at the bottom of each box it says default low cut. What do you have?
It's set at 100, but I then go and I manually adjusted. If you right click on the numbers on the bottom right where it says, like for mine, it says 5K, 4.4, 4, 3.3. If you right click on those, you can edit them.
Yep. If you set the default low cut to 20, you won't have to worry about that. And I have mine set. I set mine for 20 hertz because that's low enough. On the receive 1 and on the receive 2, you'll see the default low cut. I set it to 20 hertz. And then if I want to tighten up the filter from there, I could always, just grab that little width control or whatever. But I find, especially with what we're doing here, everybody's got, high fidelity audio and whatnot. So, 20 hertz and to as high as you want on the top end. Yeah, 4K, 5K, whatever on the receive. But yeah, try that. You'll see it actually sounds pretty good if you receive everybody, by default like that.
Yes, but I've been receiving them at 0. So I go below 20. I'm 0 to like 4100 in 4K.
Let me tell you the negative of setting your receive. Really, even 20 is low, but let's just say go to below 20. Once you get down below 20, you're already outside of the limits pretty much of the human hearing, right? And so anything below that, as far as your radio concern, is like DC. It's like a direct current signal, right? And the problem with that is what it does is it will on low frequency information, it'll prematurely trigger your receive AGC. So it'll squash out the person's signal sooner than it should because, and sometimes there's, DC component or whatever in the receive. So just a suggestion, 0 is senseless. There's really no point to go to 0, but 20, I would say, if you're going to go low, that's about as low as I'd ever go.
All right, well, that all makes sense. So I just changed it to 20, and I don't hear a difference, but I understand about the AGC pumping or whatever. All right, so now my low is 20. So let me go to another receive filter. Yep, they're all set at 20 because I use the the default that you showed me. Very good.
Yeah, I find that to be a good setting. And a lot of times you might roll that up to 100 just to tighten up the lows in some cases, but I hate having to manually edit each preset just for that feature. So that's nice that you could do it in one simple, click. But I have I'm sure you do too, a couple of custom preset filters. The ones that come with it aren't all exactly what I like, but I kept most of them, stock. But I edited like the 2.9 and the 3.3 and the 4. I like to have those as wide as I can.
Yep. Well, you're right. If I wish I would have known that, because that's a lot easier than editing them, and that's why in some bands I never even edited them, and then I have to go in and adjust them just on the fly. Yeah,
I kind of discovered that by accident. And one of the things that it was is that I had set mine at 0 for, even on my other radios, I used to set it to 0. I figured, I want to hear everything. And then when I really started thinking about it, I was like, wait a second. First of all, I can't hear anything below 20 hertz anyway. And all that's doing is, because, whatever you allow through your filter goes through the AGC. So yeah, you can actually degrade the sound quality on your receive if you have it set too low. So anyway, that's my Raven rant on that subject. KC2QMA.
Why are you only running 3K? You should be running 4. We only allow 4K operators here.
All right, hold on.
And with a click of a button.
And with the click of a button, we can go for full fidelity.
There we go. That's more better.
Oh, yeah. Sounds great. Sounds beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So I lowered more gain on that stream, John. I should have gotten rid of the distortion now. It's like peaking at minus 15, not 0. I'm thinking it should be gone.
Yeah, it was so subtle. It was such a small, tiny, it was just on the very, little fringes you heard it. So it was, you had it really, really close. And I know the stream can be tricky because sometimes what you put in isn't what you always get out of it. But, yeah, I'll check the stream now, see if I hear anything. But other than that, yeah, it sounded good. You got a good balance between your transmit and your receive audio. Sound a little more balanced this time too.
Yeah, it'll probably take me a little bit more tweaking. And then tomorrow, I took your suggestion and I bought the PreSonus subwoofer that goes with these PreSonus monitors. And it was only $179. It's an 8-inch subwoofer, so it's not huge. But it'll be here tomorrow, and it's got the crossover, and you go out of the interface into the subwoofer, then out of the subwoofer into the monitor.
That's it. That's exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, you're lucky because some of the speaker options out there, they don't have a matching, subwoofer that's designed to work as a system. That's the thing. Yeah, I mean you could theoretically use any speaker combination, but yeah, the one that's designed to go with your main monitors is going to be optimized. 8 inches is a good size. I mean, think about it. We're not, for the most part, if you're using it mostly for your radio station, we're not putting bass drums and bass guitars and synthesizers through it, right? We're just putting voice. So as long as, it goes down pretty low, which I'm sure it does. I'm sure if you read the specs on the subwoofer, you'll see it gets down there, probably in the 30s.
Carol, I have to get Bryson off to bed, so I'll be back in a few minutes. VA3 KBC.
All right, DJ, we'll be here. Yeah, 30s or 20, I don't remember. I gotta look.
You got a spot under your desk for it?
Oh yeah, and I've got a big, shaggy, 1.5 inch thick carpet it's going to sit on top of.
Well, you'll definitely notice a difference dramatically when you hook that up. You're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe what I was missing.
Yeah, it's going to be great. And then I just got to make sure I'm not getting feedback because, remember, my Apollo runs into the M audio. So on the output of the M audio is my vocal and my receive. So I think I just have to mute something on the receive where Thetis will still hear it, but the main out won't.
Yeah, I guess you just turn the monitor feature off so you don't get feedback.
Right, that's it. That's all I'll do. What signal strength have you been copying me tonight? You're 35 over.
I have you, I wish I could say the same. I have you at least 15 to 20. You've been averaging a good, strong, solid 15, which, keep in mind, I do use a little attenuation, and I don't have the best antenna here, so I guess that's a good signal report from me, for sure.
All right, great. Yeah. I wonder what an extra 500 watts is going to do. Probably give me like an S unit, I would think, right? 500?
Yeah, you went up to straight 20 there.
All right, good. Yeah, so this amp, the Mercury, I usually run it around 1,000, which is what I'm doing now. Maybe it touches 1,100. But with a 2 kilowatt amp, I'm probably going to run it right at legal.
All right. KC2QMA.
KB2 UKA. Hey, Art, did you make it on yet?
There's Death Richard. I heard you before.
I'm sorry, who's that? There was another station in there you could ID if you'd like.
N8SDR.
Oh, no. What's up, Richard?
You guys ain't hearing Richard. He's been saying stuff for the last couple minutes.
Well, I just heard you now. Maybe John is 40 over to me, almost. So maybe he covered that up. But you're sounding good, man. You're like 5 over. And that's good from Ohio to Long Island on 80 before 8 o'clock.
I hear you in there, Rick. Not a great copy, but I do hear you in there. Good evening.
Yeah, hey, John. Richard's in there, too. He's been calling you guys, saying stuff to you guys, but I guess you're not hearing him. Richard, I do hear you, so good evening to you. And, John, why you got a really bad echo?
Yeah, I turned the knob up by accident. I turned the wrong knob up, and so I ended up way too much echo there.
Yeah, I sent you a text message about it.
You know, I don't monitor myself, so I don't realize when I do that.
And then I called you. That was me that your phone rang on.
Yeah, I didn't want to answer it while I was in the middle of, being on. I was just about to call you back, but then I heard you on the radio.
Yeah, okay, all right. Anyways, good evening, guys. N8SDR.
So, Rick, and hold on, Richard. I was messing with Rick, calling him Richard. I didn't know you were in there. So, what's the amp doing now? What are you driving it with, and what's it outputting?
Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2.6 watts and 974 out.
Wow, that's amazing. That's about what I'm doing out right now, but I'm putting in about 25 watts.
Yeah, I looked that amp up. That's one beautiful looking amp, that's for sure. It looks like it's built like a tank.
It's laid out really nice too, John.
It's actually built better than you'd expect. Actually, the heatsink looks pretty oversized, which is great.
Well, yeah. Have you seen how thick that copper spreader is? That's bored to the top of the heatsink.
Wow. Oh, by the way, Doug, the audio on the stream sounds great.
Yeah, so remember, I'm running into a little crappy $50 interface just to get the audio into OBS. I have the gain completely turned down. It was up like a quarter of the way, and it's still green with it complete. There's so much coming out of the M audio that I probably needed no gain. So yeah, I'm floating around minus 15 on peaks.
All right. Yeah, I never used the OBS or Bandicam, but I mean, I get the concept of it, but I just never used it. But I'm sure there's like metering in there that tells you like your reference level of what's going out, over the stream. So pretty cool. Looks good. Sounds good.
Why, thank you. All right, Rick, I'm guessing I get a testing video by the end of this coming week from Onder.
Yeah, cool. Well, when you get it, forward it out to me, will you?
Oh, I will. Absolutely. All right, let's see. Richard and I don't have a good path on 80. Richard, do you copy me? KB2 UKA.
Richard, Doug wants to know if you hear him.
Wow, I can't hear Doug at all.
You know, he can't hear you at all.
Yeah, I don't even think I've ever spoken to him on 80, even on the vertical. I hear him, though. I hear him. He's like 4x5. I could hear him in there.
Calling you.
KG2.
What's up, Mike? Michael, do you have a copy on me? KB2 UKA.
Be right back. Just gonna get some coffee.
I'm trying, Richard.
I know, Rick. There's some mess, man. The frequencies, the band's just not open for the frequency night right now.
Well, you're strong here. You're almost 20 over.
I can't be, man. I ain't running 900 watt.
No, I'm serious. Well, you're 15, sometimes a little bit more than that. Not quite 20, but you're getting close.
Yeah, you run there 15 over yourself.
Hey, Michael, do you have a copy on me? KB2 UKA. KG2MM, KG2MM, do you copy KB2 UKA?
Mike,
My name in there. Is that you, Doug? What's going on? I hear you.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I can understand you. Can you understand me? Over.
Roger. Yeah, it's not completely open down here yet, but I hear you. But, yeah, you sounding good when I do hear you, Roger.
All right, good. So do you. You're loud enough that you're on the stream right now. I hear you fine.
Roger, yeah, I got you about an S7 down here. Sorry, I'm a compression up a little bit higher. But you're solid S7 down here, Roger.
All right, I'll take that to Jacksonville from New York on 80 at 7:55. I'll take it. All right, good. I think Art's going to be getting in here. Yeah, Rick. So I'm real excited, man. I'm like right now. I can't get this friggin' Mercury on 80 meters to get to 1200 watts with all the compression I'm running. I'm driving it with 40. If I turn it up to 50, it'll overdrive it, but it'll never hit 1200.
Well, hold on a second. Let me see what this thing will actually do. Hello, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's 1178.
All right, and now when you talk to me again, is it gonna like float around 1178 the whole exchange? Go ahead.
What was that, Doug?
You peaked at 1178. When you talk to me again, is it gonna keep peaking there? Like it's gonna retest the 1178?
Hello, 1, 2, 3. Yep, it's hanging right between 1165 to about 1180. So, yeah, it's pretty consistent, and that's 3.8 watts.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a loose solder joint or what, but it's not, because on the ICOM, on the little crap box I was running, this thing was hitting 1300 watts. But now that I have all this audio, it doesn't want to output the same.
Yeah, I just don't see any reason to run this thing up that far. So I'm, if I'm hanging around the 900 mark or close to 1,000, I think that's plenty.
All right. Well, you're a solid 5 over right now. Solid. What do you have me at?
Almost that, not quite.
All right, we'll get there. We'll get there.
So keep in mind, when I was at that 11, let's just round it off to 1150. Let's just say it was 1150 at 3.8. So you at 3.8 on yours, that should be 2300.
Well, yeah, if he was going to make it with the low input, I don't think he's making mine. I hope he's not making mine with low input.
Oh no, that's right. You're going to be yours is at what, 20 watts drive roughly?
Yeah, he said in the email 20 will do 1500. I bet it's going to be less than that. I bet 20 does a lot more than 1500.
Yeah, see, I wanted mine set up with low drive, this is perfect for the Hermes.
Well, if he markets this thing towards all the people buying Hermes right now, he'll be very busy. DJ, did you make it back?
Yeah, but I'm eating an apple.
Well, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, DJ.
Well, I have a delicious, and then I follow up with the Macintosh.
Well, that's good. That's the way to do it.
So where's your Granny Smith?
I'm not crazy about that. My favorite is still Macintosh, but I do like delicious when they're fresh. But Macintosh is my favorite.
Really low noise floor here for me. I'm like minus 125.
And when I test my blood in the morning, it's been 5'8", 6'1", 6'2". It's always been under 7, so even with having 2 apples at night.
Well,
I'm surprised it didn't trip, because I did set my max output to 1180, so if it goes over 1180, it should go in standby.
KG2MM.
KG2MM, we hear you.
VA3 KBC.
N8 SDR.
KB2 UKA.
You still in there, Richard?
Okay, KC2QMA, I'm back.
Well, welcome back.
I got one of those single cup coffee machines, not the Keurig, not the one with the cups or whatever, but I love it. You just put whatever your favorite coffee is and put it in the little scooper, set the water, hit the button, and you got a fresh cup. It's not bad.
That's good. If I drank coffee right now, I'd never go to bed.
I've been using a percolator here lately, John, the last few months, and I absolutely love that.
That's the best coffee you can make.
Yeah, I love percolated coffee, that's for sure.
You know what, Rick? I remember the perk pot when I was a kid, with the glass, with the glass handle on top that you would watch and wait for the water to hit, and you'd see the water was getting dark, and that's how you knew when it was done. I gotta get me one of those.
Yeah, that's the way mine is.
I love those, the clear percolator pots, the glass ones. Those are great. Yeah, you can actually see the water flowing through the little tubes and stuff. Yeah, I love that.
Refresh my memory. Do you drop the coffee? You put the coffee in before the water's boiling, or do you wait for it to boil and then you drop the filter in?
Well,
I put my filter and everything in the water and just let it boil as it goes.
yeah, that's the kind that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, that makes sense, because that's, it starts to wet the coffee slowly as it starts to bubble. So yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, if it's a drip coffee machine, it bubbles from the top. The water heats up, goes through that little tube in the middle, spills down over the coffee, then back into the water, and then it does that for a couple of cycles. But the glass one is great because you can see all the inner workings, unlike those electric percolators where you plug it in and it's chrome looking. Those are great too, but you really can't see anything going on inside.
I had one of those, and I had a problem with it shutting off on me before it got done.
Yeah, I guess the temperature sensor went bad or something.
I accidentally dropped it one day.
Oh, that'll do it.
My hand locked up and it hit the floor, man. My hand's been locking up like that every once in a while here lately, and it's horrible. It hurts like hell.
Maybe that's arthritis.
No, I'm sure it's something.
It's funny, I used to get that in my hands. I would be doing something and my hand would sort of like almost close on its own, like without my trying. It would just sort of close and like freeze for a minute, and then I'd like push it open and my hand would open back up again. I don't know. It was weird. It was like a spasm almost.
Well, mine locks, and I have to grab my other hand to get it to come open, and that's what happened. I couldn't get it open, and when I pulled my hand open, I lost the grip on it.
Well, that sounds like you should get that looked at. If you got to use your other hand to open your other hand, you should get that looked at, Rick.
Yeah, probably so.
It might just be something as simple as you're not getting enough potassium or something, but it's definitely something to get looked at anyway.
Well, it only happens in my right hand, so I don't think it's a potassium thing.
DJ, you got the stream going. Very good. Good. And now I can hear myself.
You probably hear my dog bark in the background once in a while. He's 16 years old, and he's got a little bit of dementia. So at night, he gets like the sundowners syndrome, and he starts barking for no reason.
Yeah, my lag is very short.
Oh, what, on your stream? Who knows? I moved into the woods here. My upload download is similar to what it was in the other house, but it's probably definitely a factor that I'm at a different location.
I got nice speed here. I get about a little over a gig download speed, which is nice. And I didn't pay extra for that, which is funny. And the upload is like 21, which, that's pretty respectable for a consumer grade thing. I know I don't know, Doug, I don't know if, or you guys are interested in this, but some of the internet providers, they do have a business class connection. It's usually much more money, but it's a big jump in speed if you needed that. Some streamers do that because they need the bandwidth, but something to just keep in mind if you really wanted to do that. Yeah.
Mine averages 980 down and 450 up.
Ooh, wow, 450. That's a lot. Up is usually where you get screwed by the internet provider. You usually get decent download, but wow, that's a tremendous upload speed.
So I have 1 gig, and when I'm wired, I get about 1 gig down and like 600 up. But the whole house is on a mesh network. So right now down here in the shack, I have one of the mesh routers in here, and above this shack is the main mesh router. So I'm doing the tests right now. So this is through a mesh network. I am only getting, on a gigabit connection, 250 down. And I'll tell you what I'm getting up. This might be why I have the lag, DJ. So I'm getting 250 down, and I'm getting, hold on. I'm getting 130, 135, 139, 140, about 140 up.
Okay, I took a picture of my speed. So 247 down and 90.4 up. Now, I've tested it before through the middle of the day, and it's 450, 460 download and about 180 or something like that upload. So it's, with me streaming and whatever Carol's watching upstairs, it's a little slower.
So in a few months, I'm going to be able to get a 2 gigabit connection through Fios They don't have it here yet. It's coming. It's heading west to east. So if I get a 2 gig connection, I'm going to have to get all new routers because these are only gig routers. Or maybe not. Maybe it'll get me up to a gig on the mesh. I figure it should get me about half. Let me ask you a question. So I've got a Cat 6, Rick, coming in from outside. So the Cat 6 comes in. It goes through the garage. It goes into the basement. It goes up through the floor. And it goes into the study, the office. And that's where the main mesh router is connected directly to the Cat 6. There's no modem, right? It's direct connection. I could split that Cat 6, right? Like, even though that's the main one, I could split that and then run a wire into my shack and let the other one go upstairs to the mesh router.
I lost half of that, Doug. You dropped way down and then you came back up some.
I was saying, I could cut my main Cat 6 cable and split it, right? That shouldn't be an issue.
Well, you have to split it with a switch.
Okay. That's what I'll do. I guess I'll split it. Okay. So I'll cut it and then plug in a switch down here and then put another connector on the other half of the wire that I cut and let that go upstairs and run a new wire into the shack.
Yeah, so it's about a 4-second delay.
So Doug, your computer is connected to the internet wirelessly, or you have an Ethernet connection directly to the router?
Well, that wouldn't matter down here. It would be wireless no matter what. So I have 4 mesh routers in the house. I have one at the main where the Ethernet comes into the study. That's the main one. Then I've got one in my son's room upstairs, one in my bedroom, and then one in my shack. So there's 4 routers. It wouldn't make a difference if I plugged into this router. It wouldn't. I don't think it would make a difference.
Okay, yeah. But so you're going to upgrade all that stuff to like the latest wireless network. So yeah, I know the newest network stuff, you could really get crazy high speed over wireless.
Well, this is supposed to give me a gig. These are about, I'd say these are about a year old. And I was getting 700-800 at the last house. I don't know why I'm getting so low here. It's a bigger house. Maybe that's why. So what I have to do is I have to plug in. I got to check the main Cat 6. I've never checked it since we moved in. So I got to plug it into the computer and do a speed test right at the source.
I mean, I'm old school, but I try to do a hardwired connection as much as possible. And I know that it's not always possible to do that, but if you could do, Cat 6, or above a hardwired network to a router or a switch, you could get gigabits, gigabits.
Yep, and that's what I had in the last shack. The house was still wireless, but I ran Ethernet directly to the shack. I just haven't done it here. I'm not. The stream doesn't buffer; it handles it. But I think I could get another 500 out of the wireless. KB2 UKA. I'm going to be on the side for a second.
John,
I was just thinking of something. If your shack is in the basement, maybe you can get the cable modem that you get from your internet provider to put that in the basement, and you can at least do the hard line for your shack computers and stuff like that, and then you can just do the wireless network for the rest of your space, your house and everything. But just make the basement the starting point of where the internet comes in.
Well, it already is, and remember, there's no modems in this house. It's a direct Cat 6 from outside. So that Cat 6 runs from the outside of the garage all the way through the garage into the basement. So the wall opposite my computer monitor is the garage. So all I have to do is what I would do is I would go into the garage, I would clip the Cat 6 cable, I would put a new connector on one end, a new connector on the other end, and I'd put a switch in the middle. And the wire that was there would plug into the switch, and that would go upstairs the way it does now, and that would go into the mesh router upstairs. And then I'd come out of the switch with new Cat 6 into the shack, right through the garage wall.
Okay, that's going to work out good. It's right there.
Yep, I just haven't put in, what are those, RJ45s? I haven't put one of those on in a while. They're a pain in the butt, right?
Not too bad. Yeah, Rick, I just got your thing. I'm going to do a speed test right now, and I'll post a picture of it. Man, you're getting really good upload. I don't understand, man. Mine's pretty crappy compared to you guys.
I'll be right back. KB2UKA.
Running plus my server and there's at least 4 TVs on. There might be 5.
I'm going to scan around the other bands. I want to check 160 and see what activity's there. And I don't think there's much on 40 right now. There must be a contest or whatever, but I'm just going to scan around, guys. I'll be back. VA3 KBC.
Yeah, there's a contest.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I didn't listen long enough. So I'll check 160.
Yeah, it's contesting all over 40. All right, I just sent it.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, fortunately for me, I don't really do a lot of hardcore uploading of anything. I do mostly downloading, if anything. So I'm not missing that speed, but man, I could imagine if I did streaming or something, that might be a problem.
Yeah, let's see, right now I'm averaging like 840, 843 down, and 430 up. But like I said, when during the day when nobody's here and I'm here by myself, and my one son is here, but when he and I are here, I average like 980 down and 450 up.
Yeah, that's pretty damn impressive, man. I'm going to tell you, that's really good. Well, I would complain to my cable company, but as many of us know, once you call them and you try to get them to do one thing, they ruin something else. You tell them, can you fix my telephone connection? And then they break your internet connection. And then you call them up to fix the internet connection, and they break your your TV connection. Typical cable company.
Well, I only get internet from them. I do streaming for the cables or the TVs, and then the phone here is through my own VoIP service that I resell. So I just don't have them do anything but other than internet. And it's fiber to the house all the way.
Well, it's been quiet over there on the old expert site. I'm not sure what's going on over there, but I noticed they haven't had too much to sell. I guess they're having the same problem that everybody else seems to be having. but not good, that's for sure. And then Flex, yeah, it's been one kind of mess after another over there lately too.
Well, I've been looking at the expert site. They think they banned me, but I've got 3 other accounts that I can log in there with. And the same posts have been stagnant for the last week.
The same post. What did you say about the last post?
The same posts have been stagnant for the last week. They have not changed.
Yep. Yeah. They don't have much to sell either. They have some of the radios, but yeah, they're not selling much.
Hey, have you ever gone there and looked underneath version 3 where it has the videos, and then the 2 videos that they still have of mine? Those 2 videos that they still have of mine, John, turn on the closed caption and watch the screen.
Okay, I got to do that.
Yeah, they thought they were going to screw me over. This was fantastic. Yeah, turn on the closed caption and watch the screen.
So the amp's been working pretty good?
Yeah, it's been working just fine.
WB2 USA.
Go ahead.
Good evening, gentlemen. I have a question. Any of you fellas have a Mercury 3 amplifier? I'm looking for more input on that.
I don't, and I don't think Rick ever had one. I think there was somebody on just a little while ago that has a Mercury 3, but nobody right now.
I wouldn't know. I don't have a Mercury 3. I skipped that whole route, and I just got a VK amp 2 days ago and absolutely love it.
Okay, well, the name here is John, Juliet Oscar Hotel November, and we're looking to buy one, but I'm trying to gather up all the information I possibly can, and so far, everyone that I spoke to who owns one had nothing but high marks for that amplifier. I'm just looking for some more information for it. Roger?
Yeah, well, like I said, John, I don't own one. I went a totally different route. The VK amp is made in Australia. It was actually it was quite a bit less than a Mercury 3. And I waited with the guy that's building them. He was in the process of moving his business when I ordered mine, and it sent it back 3 weeks. I still had it in 5 weeks in 4 days from him, and it was on average about $780 less than a Mercury 3, and it's an extremely nice build.
Hey, very good. I appreciate that input. Gentlemen, let me bow out of here and sorry to interrupt your conversation. Enjoy the weekend, WB2 USA.
Yep, no problem, John, and have a great weekend, and stick around if you want to. I think Doug is running a Mercury 3, but he just stepped out. I'm positive he's running a Mercury 3. He just stepped out. I know he'll be back here in a couple minutes, so if you want to hang around.
Hey, well, I would imagine if you spoke to him earlier, he probably has good marks to talk about it and to say that it's well worth his weight, or he loves it or whatever. I'll try to stick around, but I doubt it, because I just got a call from the War Department to sit down and have a cup of tea with her. So, gentlemen, enjoy the weekend again. WB2 USA. Sorry to interrupt.
You're not interrupting, but I will tell you this: we did order a VK 2K, the VK amp 2K model, and he ordered that roughly 2.5 weeks ago, and I think he's going to have it next week or the end of next week. And I think he's going to be selling his Mercury.
I'm back, KB2 UKA.
The amplifier, there's almost a year's wait on it, and that kind of discouraged me to even order one. A year's wait, I don't mind buying something and wait a couple of weeks or something, but a year kind of, turns me off. Anyway, again, gentlemen, let me get out of here, and thank you for that input, WB2 USA.
And KB2 UKA, I'm back.
It's just VK3, VK amps. Check them out and see what you think. But, very short wait time. 5 weeks was mine.
Okay, thank you. There was another station in there. Let me bow out of here. Thanks, gentlemen.
It's Doug. I'm back. KB2 UKA, and that station that just said bow out. You're 20 over in Long Island.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm running a 537-foot horizontal loop down to a tuner and into an old 7600 ICOM and putting out about 85, 90 watts. Roger that.
Oh, you're doing great. I'm running a 310-foot loop horizontal down to a balance tuner, 600 ohm on an Anon. What's your QTH?
My QTH is in New Jersey. We're up in the mountains, and we're about 7 miles east of the Delaware River, right in the horse country of, if you know anything about New Jersey, we're about 6 miles south of Interstate 78 and in Hunterdon County. Roger?
Okay, Roger. Yep, I'm 50 miles east of Manhattan on Long Island. I hear you great. How are you copying me? Over?
I got a beautiful signal. You're where I am. I hear everybody fantastic. You're 20 over, no problem at all. Roger?
All right, great. Well, thanks for stopping by. Sounding great.
Okay, very good. Thank you, gentlemen. Let me get out of here. Thanks again for the info. WB2 USA.
Yeah, and John, that's the guy that's running the Mercury right now.
Oh, is that right?
The Mercury that will be on the sale floor maybe in about 2.5 weeks.
Why?
Because I have a beautiful 2 kilowatt VK amp coming with a built-in sampler from my Pure Signal here on the Anon 7000.
Wow. Well, so that's the reason. Well, quick question. I asked these other gentlemen, but they said that you weren't around. You stepped away from the radio. Do you have any good thoughts about that Mercury?
I've had it about 3.5 years. I believe I'm the 10th or 15th person to own one in the U.S. I bought it when it was a kit. I assembled it, and I haven't blown it up yet. And if I haven't blown it up, it's a tank, man. It does great things.
Okay, so you give it a good high mark, right?
Good high mark. It consistently puts out the output power that it needs to. I run a lot of compressed audio, a lot of audio gear, and it handles it okay. When I just moved, and when I set up the new loop, I tested the amp out with an old IC 718 with no audio equipment. And this thing was putting out 1250, 1300 watts with 30 watt drive, no problem. Right now, with all the audio and everything, like I peak at about just about a touch under 1100.
Oh, wow. I understand that the amplifier could be operated on 110 volt and 220. Which one do you have it running on?
Well, right now I have it running on 220, but I ran it for the last 3 years on 110, and all you have to do is change the power cable.
Wow, very good. Okay, thank you. Well, that's another person I talked to that has a high marks for that amplifier. Very good. I appreciate that. Again, here, the name is John, Juliet Oscar Hotel November, and I got to get out of here. And enjoy the weekend, WB2 USA.
All right, WB2 USA, KB2 UKA. Enjoy the weekend. I'll be at Six Flags Great Adventure in beautiful New Jersey tomorrow with the wife and children. It's going to be a chilly one, but they want to go. 73.
Bring an umbrella.
Yeah, I hear it's not supposed to rain by the time we get there, so we'll see.
Hey, Doug.
Yeah, Rick.
You want me to capture a real quick video and send it there to you?
To me, you want to do a video? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to do it with the cell phone because I can't do screen capture on the VK, but hold on.
You sending me a video of me or of just the amp you talking?
No, of the input versus the output.
Yes, I want to see that, please.
All right, Doug, here we go. So there's the input. Hopefully you can, it's not focused real good, but hopefully you can see that. It'll be the bottom scale on the Hermes light. And let me go over to the amplifier, and there you go on the amplifier. So there's what the input and the output is right now.
All right, send it to me. I'll give it a watch.
It's on its way. You should have it.
All right, KB2 UKA. Let me just watch this real quick. I'm going to mute my my microphone.
KBC at just about the bottom of the hour.
V3PSN.
And there's Scotty.
Is the 2K amplifier a special order, or is it something that you can get on the website?
What was that, John?
The VK amp, there's a 2,000 watt model.
Well, he's got a 1K, it's just a single pallet, and the 2K is a dual pallet.
Yeah, Rick, that's amazing, man. Well, it's just solid.
Did you bump your knob again?
Who, me?
Well, here, I'm still on frequency.
No. You got a boatload of echo in there. It almost sounds like RF.
Yeah, that's because I'm listening on a web SDR. I'm having trouble copying you on my antenna here. I'll try lowering the SDR. That should kill the feedback a little bit.
Oh, okay.
4D. Good evening, guys.
The best thing to do is to email.
Hey, Dom, I hear you.
And he'll send you, a price and all the specs and stuff, and then he can bill you right from there too. He'll send you an invoice if you want it. If you want to go with whatever he's got, whatever you guys decide to do. But he's got several options: assembled, unassembled, and then single pallet and dual pallet. And then there's some other options that he also offers.
Does he make a 100-watt drive version?
If you need to have it attenuated on the input, just let him know.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Dominic, I hear you.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good evening.
20 over, Dominic. Sounding good. Rick and John are here. I think DJ's back. DJ, did you make it back?
Yep, and Scott's in the house, too.
Oh, boy, Scott.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Oh, boy, Scott. I don't think I spoke to you since I got all the gear back.
That would be a affirmative on the no comply on talking since you've got the gear up and going. It sounds marvelous, Doug. My hat's off to you. And good evening, Rick and Tom.
Hey, Scott. So, Doug, did you get it?
Yeah, I doubled before. It's holding that like 980, 999 with that. It's just amazing. I'm really excited. I haven't been excited for a piece of gear in a while. I can't wait to get it. It's a big box. Did you have to sign for it?
Yeah, but you can. So I did sign for it, but when you get the message that it's out for delivery, DHL will send you another email and they'll ask you if you want to do a no signature thing. That there's a consent form that you can do for via email to have no signature.
Yep, I think I remember that with the Anon when the Anon came DHL. Yes, I will do that.
Yeah, I wanted mine, man. In fact, I met the guy at the truck.
Yep. Well, less hands carrying a piece of equipment like that, the better.
He was impatient.
But Doug, after that thing actually got on the DHL flight, it was 3 days from the time that DHL had it until the time I had it.
Yeah, and you're outside of a major city, right?
No, I'm one of the hubs here for DHL is just over at Greater Cincinnati Airport, which is about a 30-minute drive for me.
Okay. Yeah, so it's going to be similar. DHL's probably Kennedy Airport for me, which is right in Queens, not too far.
Yeah, so it showed up at DHL Wednesday morning, and I had it or was it Thursday? No, it was Thursday. I'm sorry. It showed up there Thursday morning. I had it Thursday afternoon.
All right, great. Yeah. So he said, what did he say to me? He said 3 weeks to me a week ago. So that's 2 weeks left. I would guess that there's going to be a testing video coming soon.
Well, he originally told me 6 to 8 weeks with his move. He said, give me 6 to 8 weeks because I'm in the process of moving. And he, like I said, he told me that before he sent me the invoice. He said, just so you know, I'm in the process of moving, but if you want to order it, that's fine. But it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks, and I had mine in 5 weeks and 4 days.
Yeah.
Dexter to build it for you, Rick, or did you build it?
No, he put it together for me.
He puts it together, he tests it, he sends you a video showing the testing. It's really good quality, Scott. And Scott, your audio sounds phenomenal.
I heard Rick complete, and thank you for the compliment there, Doug.
Sorry I doubled with you, Rick. You're welcome, though, Scott.
Scott?
Yes?
Assembled and shipped it was like $27.50.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
And if you want 2 kilowatts, it's $3,600, which is still cheaper than a Lux.
That's still a pretty good price.
It's like $980 difference between the 1 kilowatt and the 2 kilowatt.
And I see there's a 1.2 kilowatt LD Moss pallet. I'm wondering if you can combine 2 of those for a 2400 watt capability. Of course, you're not going there, but you have the headroom. I wonder if you could do that.
John, that's what Doug's is. That's what mine is too. It's a 1200 watt pallet, but he rates them at 1 kilowatt in the linear state. 'Cause that's what he wants to see you drive them at is 1 kilowatt. They'll do 1200, but that's the same pallet that's in mine, and 2 of those in a combiner is what's in Doug's, and Doug's will do 2400.
Aha. Okay, I got you now. I get it. Yeah, the BL 188 XR. That's the heavy duty one, if my memory serves right.
Well, I did not go that route, and neither did Doug. We went with the HT 1803s, which I have 4 of those devices. Doug will have 8 of them, but those devices are so easy to change out, and they're $35 a piece. You don't have to worry about heating solder up underneath of them and getting that flow down and putting them in a jig and heating up the copper plate and all that stuff. These are in a TO3 style case. Three-legged device, and they just screw down to the copper plate in the heat sink. And you solder the 3 legs down. Set the bias on them, and you're off and running. It takes 10 minutes to change one of them out, and Mauser has them for $34 a piece.
Okay, yeah, I get that. That makes sense. It's more serviceable. Yeah, and the BLF 188s, those things are a little more exotic, and they are a little more specialized as far as mounting and all that. Whereas, what is it, a TO3P, I guess that package is? That's a pretty normal standard transistor.
Scott, do you want to go 1970 for a few minutes?
I could. Just let me swing over.
Okay. VH3 KBC QSY.
Yeah, and Doug, John, 4 of those will give you the same output as a 188 or a 189 will. So it just, I'm looking at it from a serviceability standpoint, and it just made more sense to do that. In fact, I'm going to order a pair of 1803s so I have them here in case anything ever happens. Now, granted, there's an A and a B because the gate leg switches on the A and the B so that you can keep the distance on the pallets. The spacing in an RF field, the same. I'm trying to think of what they actually really call that, but you know what I'm talking about. So there's an A and a B, and all they do is switch the gate lead.
And if mine fails, I'm just going to ship it to Rick.
Repair. Well,
And like I said, they're like $34, $35 a piece, which is pretty darn cheap.
And if mine fails, I'm going to just ship it to Rick.
yeah, they're so cheap. Those, you almost buy like buy a little package, like a sleeve of them. A couple, like invest, $150, and you have a whole like bag of them for backups down the road. Because unfortunately, I would say this, Rick, and this has nothing to do with whether it's the BLF or this transistor or any transistor. I'm noticing as time goes on, and you might be noticing this too, a lot more as time goes on, more and more parts are being deleted from production. Like I'm seeing common capacitors that have been around for a long time, all of a sudden they're not going to make those anymore. And same with the transistors. A lot of transistors that have been around forever, that they're just making them obsolete, and it's getting a little tricky with stuff. So with some transistors, it might, if you're going to stick around with the device for a while, it might be worth stockpiling a little bit over time. You don't have to buy them all at one time, but if you're going to keep the thing, every couple of years, buy an extra 3 or an extra 5 or something, Because if you don't use them, someone else will want them someday anyway.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, John, I think this is, with making a couple of changes on bias and a couple other things, I think the MRF 300 is another transistor that fits right in where the 1803s do.
What's the full name of the 1803?
HT 1803, Hotel Tango 1803. They're an NXP device.
Yeah, and
I think it's Mitsubishi, if I remember right. Is it, John?
NXP?
Yes.
I don't know. I thought that was their own company. I know one thing. They have been the pioneers in the past 10 years or 15 years in these high output RF, high frequency output devices, and that's a good thing. It's amazing what a value the VK amp and also the other amp, the Mercury amp. They're great value, really, when you think about it. So I'm glad to see the price of these things coming down, and I knew that was going to happen. It's just like anything, They always start off expensive, and then when there's some competition, the price starts coming down, and, it becomes more of a normal thing.
So, wait, is this it? Is it, I see it in Mosier Electronics. It's Mike Hotel Tango 1803 Alpha. Output power 300 watts.
Well, Doug, there's an A and a B. So the Alpha is the A side, is the one with the gate that's on the left leg, and the B has the gate on the right leg. So they flip flop them. So when you put them in multiple stages on a pallet, that the RF path is the same.
So it's 4 of the A's and 4 of the B's?
Yes, for you it's 4 of the A's and 4 of the B's. For me it's 2 A's and 2 B's.
All right, so if you buy 1, they're $24 the unit price. If you buy 10, they're $21. So yeah, it probably makes sense to buy like 3 and 3 of each.
Yeah, look where you're buying them from though, because there's probably a minimum on that pricing.
Minimum 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and Doug, Mauser, like you're on Mauser, they're good. DigiKey is good. Definitely don't buy any of that type of stuff on eBay or Amazon or any of those. But DigiKey and Mauser, that's the way to go.
Yeah, because you're going to get the actual real part, not some Chinese knockoff BS.
Enter quantity. So I just want to make sure this is the right one. It's MHT 1803A.
Yes.
RF MOSFET transistor, RF power LD MOS transistor for consumer and commercial cooking. 1.8 to 50 megahertz, 300 watt, CW, 50 volt.
Yep, that sounds correct.
Now, Doug, it sounded like there's like Rick was saying, excuse me, there was an A and a B. I think what that really is you've got in these type of transistors, you can have a complementary pair, like you can have a PNP and an NPN transistor, right? And they put them together and make it like a push-pull circuit out of them. So you would need, like one of each kind. If you get 4 of the A's, you got to get 4 of the B's. You know what I mean? So you have the complementary pair.
Yes, that's what I'm going to do. I just want to see if I could find the B. MHT 1803B. Let's see if those come up. And what do you know? Those come up in the same price. You got A and B. So yeah, if I buy 2 A's, I'll get 2 B's. But this is a different description. Now, this is RF MOSFET transistor, 300 watt, 200 megahertz to 247-3L.
John, hey, hold on a second. I'm on the phone with John real quick, so he can tell you, because I just want to make sure you guys are talking about the same thing. So hold on a second, Doug.
All right, yeah, I'm not ordering anything yet. Wow, John, is your noise floor really low?
KG2MM, I'm back.
You're louder now, Mike. KB2UKA.
All right. Yeah, Doug, if you look down, look in the specifications, you'll see the operating frequency also.
Yeah, I see that. The description was different, but on the B, on the Bravo, it still says operating frequency 1.8 to 50.
Roger that.
Hey, Mike. W4GL.
Hey, Dom, how are you doing?
Very good. Hanging.
All right.
Hey, Mike, did I come up to 5.9 yet? Hey, Mike, do you still copy me?
Mike, you still hearing Doug?
Yeah, I hear he's getting a little louder on me, but I still hear him. Go ahead, Doug.
What's the signal strength now?
Again?
I guess not good. I said, what's the signal strength now?
What's the signal strength now?
Yeah, still rough copy there. Rough copy. I'm listening on the stream. Let me hear what you said on the stream.
No, you answered the question. You answered the question. See, Dominic, I don't know if this loop is just hearing really well, because I can hear him.
You double.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry, too. I was saying, Dom, I don't know if this loop is just hearing really, really well because the noise floor is so low, but I hear him fine. He's not 20 over, but he's like 5'8", 5'9", Q5.
I think what's your static level, Mike? Florida's notorious for static. When I lived down there, I couldn't stand it.
Well, I'm not getting any static crashes. I just have a steady S7, S8 noise floor here.
Okay, so that's the difference. My noise floor is minus 125 right now.
Yeah, he said he doesn't have any static crashes. He got a 7 to 8 on noise level, and you're right at that.
Okay. See, my noise floor is very, very low. I hear everything.
I bet you it won't do that on 40. If we were on 40, you'd probably hear him really strong. 80, from Florida to New York, it's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're touching 20 over.
Right, I'm about 300 miles further up north than where he's at. 350 miles.
Yep, you're like 15 to 20, mostly like 15. And what do you have me at?
Same thing. He's floating around there, 15, 20. Sounding good.
All right, good, good. It was raining all day. I didn't get to check if I melted my antenna yet.
Did Art check in?
No, he never checked in. His 15 minutes turned into over an hour.
Oh, yeah. Maybe you got a better offer, I don't know. Was Bill in here tonight?
Bill was not in here. DJ and Scott were in here. They went to 160. Rick's here. John's here. No Jeff, no Dwayne.
Dwayne made it here, W3 DEP.
Oh, my God, Dwayne. Holy schmoly. Have you been here?
I got here probably a few minutes ago.
Well, good to hear you.
Right back at you.
Yeah, so KP68 had a video of me and Art and John. I was very honored.
Yeah, he called me and said he was going to put that up there, so I knew it was going to be posted there. But, yeah, he's pretty good about doing that, Dan. Hello, Dom, and the rest of everybody else in there.
Hello, Dwayne.
Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, Mike, now you came up on me more. You're a solid 5'9" now.
Yeah, you just came up also on the last over there, so I heard you nice and clear, no problem. You're a solid S9 now, too. So the band is still going up and down here.
Yep. And Dominic's right. Even though you're northern Florida, it's still a big trip for 80 meters.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a lot better trip than driving.
Hey, yeah, you can say that again.
I'm driving with my daughter today. She goes, Dad, remember when we drove to Florida? I'm like, Jillian, it was 2 years ago. Yes, I remember. She goes, it was kind of the worst thing and the best thing. I think I want to do it again.
Oh, yeah, there you go. She wants to do it again. All right.
Listen, my wife wanted to hang herself, but I did not, and I did all the driving. I really didn't mind it. I didn't mind it at all.
Yeah, well, I used to drive it all the time, man. I used to drive from New York to here at least 3 times a year. So I know the feeling. I just, like I said, I drove straight through. But you will continue on all the way down further south, so never drove that far, straight.
Yeah, well, we stopped in South Carolina, like right before Georgia, on the way down, and we slept, and then we stopped in middle of North Carolina on the way back.
But that's a good ride. That was your first stop for gas?
No, to sleep.
Oh, okay.
No, we were stopping probably, I was in her truck. We were stopping every 250 miles, maybe 300 for gas.
Yeah, because I used to drive my Expedition, so I would stop every 250, 300 miles, and I'll only stop, get gas. Anybody that was if anybody was with me, they better go to the bathroom and do what they had to do, and because once I hit the road, I didn't stop again till we needed gas again.
Yep, that's it. That's the way to do it. That is absolutely the way to do it.
I drove twice to Clearwater, Florida, and it was a little over 16 hours, and I hated both trips. I drove straight down, of course, stopped to get gas. Went through a drive-through to grab a burger real quick, but I was exhausted.
You really do, like around when you start hitting 8-9 hours, you start to feel how fatigued you are. And it's, and then, so I think day one I drove 13 hours. And by 13 hours, I was probably dangerous, and that's when we pulled over.
I'll be right back. W4 deal.
All right. Hey, Dwayne, you take 35 straight down?
I can't remember the route exactly. It's been quite a few years ago. But I know in Pinella County down near Clearwater, it was a long drive. I found myself a couple times getting close, biting my tongue just to stay awake. And I didn't want to stop. I just wanted to keep going. But like Doug said, it was getting dangerous. But I made the trip. I did that twice, and I don't have to do it anymore.
I understand. See, I don't know how it would be nowadays. Back then, I was in my younger years, so I haven't done those long drives in a number of years. So I don't know how I would feel. I mean, I drive to South Carolina, but that's only about 5 hours for me, and I'll drive to Atlanta if I need, but taking that long trip back up north, I haven't done that in a long time.
On the way down, and I'm sure this is every time you go, no matter when you go, the amount of construction, especially in like Virginia, Maryland, they were what were they building last time? They were building the express lane of it must have been 95. They were building like a 3-lane express track, and it was just hundreds of miles of construction. That's what really slowed us down.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I drove at night also. I didn't drive during the day. So when I left New York, I would leave in late afternoon. And so by the time I got to that Maryland, D.C. area, it was nighttime, so I didn't get stuck in those traffic jams. But I did one time, and I said never again.
Yep. We left at like 3 a.m. on the way down. But by 10 o'clock in the morning, you're in Virginia, and you're going through rush hour, everything. KB2 UK. I'll be on the side for 2 seconds. On the way down, and I'm sure this is every time you go, no matter when you go. Wow, the amount of construction, especially in like Virginia, Maryland. Pennsylvania. They were. What were they building last time? They were building the express lane of. All right, I'm back. KB2 UKA. Rick, you still there?
I guess Rick's in here too.
Rick was in here. How you doing, Art?
Good. Man, that was nice of that gentleman. That was a nice video he put up. I think he did that before. I noticed that same SDR or whatever software he's using, or is that an Anon? I'm not sure, but that sounded really good, that playback from today on YouTube.
He's a great guy, and Dwayne knows him. That is an Anon. He's a big 11-meter guy, but he's also an amateur radio operator. He puts up great videos. Just based on the videos that I've watched, he's a really nice guy. And he's put videos up of you, Dwayne, Jeff, Bill a few times, and then he put up this one today.
Yeah, that's I'm not. Where's he located, Dwayne? Is he near you, or is he somewhere else?
Yeah, he's about roughly 17 miles north of me. Is where he's located.
And he's the reason I put a loop up, Art.
He was really good on that video. Wow. I mean, good quality. So that's great. We get a good reference. And just like yours, Doug, we can always go back and play back the stream. The only thing I will say, and I know I'm always always coming up with something. The only thing I see, I think you run your NR2 a lot. And I know it works great. It's awesome, but it does hinder how I think it degrades the audio a little bit as far as the true audio coming in. The NR2 definitely alters it.
It does. It just sounds so good to my ear. I was saying my noise floor on 80 now. And a couple of things I want to say. First, that guy KP68, he's the reason I have a loop up, because I was having trouble getting the flat top doublet up. And then he put a video out like a month ago of him throwing up an 80-meter loop. And he's like, I don't care how high you can get it, just get it in the trees. And I went out there the next day and I put up a loop. But yes, he has his NR2 off, and I just shut mine off. My noise floor here is minus 125. It's kind of low enough that I could have it off.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there are, like today, especially on 40. I mean, yeah, it was a good time to have that on. There's definitely, it comes in handy. So it is for your listening pleasure, too. So even though we like to reference and hear our audio on the other side to play it back, it's like we just have to realize that's all. It's a little bit, different with the NR2 on. Top of the hour, N4 QNT.
KB2 UKA. Well, I have it off for you, Art, right now. And timestamp is 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 43 seconds.
W3 DEP.
KG2MM, I'm back.
And good evening, Dom.
Hear it.
See, now with NR2 off, I have to manually adjust the AGC gain. So I'm able to get the static out, but turn the volume up.
Yeah, that's what I did. I turned the RF gain down a little bit and brought the volume up to hear some people a little bit better.
Very seldom do I ever run the NR. Very, very, very seldom.
So Dom, did they give Dex any medication or anything he has to take, or did he happen to go yet, or is it still in there?
Oh, they kept him today, and they did this water treatment where they go under the skin with water, and his colon will absorb it and soften the stool. They showed me the X-ray. He was blocked 6 inches in. It was solid, she said, when she had put her finger in there. Anyway, it's a total rip-off, too, which we got taken to the cleaners, and I guess you really ain't got much choice when it comes to dogs. It was $168 working to the vet ER, because our vet wasn't open until Tuesday, so we had to take him. And then $300 and some odd bucks for the X-ray and put a finger up his butt. And then they were ready to send us home. They were like, well, there's nothing in there, and I could feel it. He's got a hard stool. You're going to have to give him some laxatives, and, because if we have to put him in the hospital, it's like $1,500. And I says, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, like it is. I just spent $538 here. I am not walking out of here with laxatives, because that's what happened 2.5 weeks ago with the last one. I says, I feel like I'm just getting taken to the cleaners. I said, before I leave here today, he's going to be well. So they sent the doctor back in. I told the doctor the same thing. I says, I'm not leaving here. $500 some odd bucks, and you're ready to kiss me goodbye and give me laxatives. I said, we did that. It didn't work. I says, can't you give him an enema? Because I was reading about this. Well, we could do that, but I have to stay the night. I said, why does he have to stay the night? I said, can't you just do it? And then I'll pick him up later on this evening. And then, so he walked out. And then they came back. They said, well, we could do everything, including what we already did, for $800.
Yeah, they get you, man. I've had animals for the last 15 years. You're not going to say no. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Right.
I was irate with him though. The nurse was like, yuppie. You know, she was like, and I'm sure I wasn't, you know, addressing her by a proper pronouns either.
Well, you got to do that on purpose. Guys, I'm sorry. I got to back out of here. I'm getting the banging upstairs. That means it's time to go. I'll talk to you guys in the morning. KB2 UKA.
Damn, what a short leash that was.
They banged the floor for him.
Yep, that's what that is. This is late. We're getting up early. We're going to Six Flags tomorrow.
All right, Doug. Have a nice evening. It's good hearing you.
Good night, Doug.
Have a good one, Doug.
All right, Doug. Good to hear you again. 73s, and catch you tomorrow morning.
And you know what, Art? You guys actually do sound better without the NR2. Very good.
Thank you.
All right, later, guys. Everyone, KB2 UK.